There comes a time in life when you have to draw a line in the sand. No matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, I will not stop until I get what I came for. That's what it means to refuse to be denied. It's not just a phrase. It's a mindset. It's a decision you make deep inside yourself that says, quitting is not an option, and turning back is not an option, and settling for less than what I know I deserve is not an option. See, a life is not going to hand you your dreams on a silver platter. You're going to face rejection. You're going to face setbacks. You're going to hear the word no more times than you can count. But refusing to be denied means you hear no. And you don't take it as the end. You take it as feedback. You take it as motivation. You take it as the fuel that makes your yes that much sweeter when it comes. When you refuse to be denied, you show up differently. People can feel it in your energy. They can see it in the way you walk, in the way you talk, in the way you carry yourself. You are no longer asking life for permission. You're demanding your place in the arena. You're saying, I belong here. I've earned this. And I'm not leaving until I get it. Most people give up too soon. They get rejected once or twice and decide maybe it's not meant for them. They let one door slammed in their face convince them that the building has no other entrances. But the people who make it, the ones who create breakthroughs, they don't take denial as a verdict. They take it as a challenge. They say, yeah, you can lock that door, but I'll find a window. You can shut me out here, but I'll come in another way. You can say no today, but I'll be back tomorrow and the day after, and the day after that, until my persistence wears down the resistance. Think about the greats, the ones we look up to in history, in business, in sports, in art. Every single one of them faced rejection. Every single one of them heard that they weren't good enough, smart enough, talented enough, or prepared enough. But they made a choice to refuse to be denied. They understood that denial is temporary, but determination is permanent. And your determination outlasts denial. Eventually you win. Now, refuse to be denied doesn't mean you won't face moments of doubt. It doesn't mean you won't have nights when you wonder if you're crazy for holding on. It doesn't mean you won't cry, won't question yourself, won't feel the weight of every obstacle stacked against you. It simply means that even in those moments, you get up anyway. You show up anyway. You keep pushing anyway. Because somewhere inside of you, there is a voice that refuses to be silenced, a belief that refuses to be extinguished, a vision that refuses to let you go. When you refuse to be denied, your failures become lessons instead of losses. You don't walk away empty-handed. Every mistake teaches you something. Every disappointment adds to your experience. Every delay develops your patience. And all of it combines to shape you into the kind of person who can handle the victory when it finally arrives. See, now sometimes life delays your blessed deny you, but to prepare you. Because if you got everything you asked for the first time you asked, you wouldn't be ready for it. The denial wasn't a rejection. It was a training program. There will be people who won't believe in you. There will be people who laugh at you, who criticize you, who doubt you. That's their right. But refusing to be denied means you stop needing their approval. You don't wait for them to validate you. You don't wait for them to clap for you. You clap for yourself. You encourage yourself. You remind yourself of who you are and what you're capable of. And when it feels like the whole world is against you, you remember that one person with a made-up mind is more powerful than 1,000 doubters. Refusing to deny requires courage because it means you'll stand in rooms where you're not welcome and still speak up. It means you'll keep going after opportunities even after you've been rejected again and again. It means you'll risk failure. Risk embarrassment, risk falling flat on your face. But that's the price of greatness. That's the price of doing something meaningful. That's the price of living a life that will be remembered. You've got to remind yourself every day why you started. You've got to see yourself already winning. You're already living the life you dream about. You've got to carry that picture in your mind so vividly that nothing can erase it. Because the clearer your vision, the harder it is for denial to discourage you. When you know where you're going, no just means not yet. So when the world tells you it's impossible, you tell the world, watch me. When they say you can't do it, you say, I already did it in my mind. When they close the door, you find another way in. When they laugh at your dream, you keep building anyway. When they doubt your ability, you keep training anyway, because refusing to be denied is not about what they say. It's about what you decide. And the truth is that the decision is yours to stop or to continue, to accept defeat or to demand victory, and to walk away empty-handed or to fight until you win. Denial will show up, but so will determination. Rejection will show up, but so will resilience. Obstacles will show up, but so will opportunity. The question is, and then when it's your turn to face to face with denial, will you fold? Or will you refuse to be denied? Denial is temporary, determination is permanent. When life tells you no, when doors close in your face, when opportunities slip through your fingers, it can feel like the end of the road. But denial is never permanent. And it's only a moment, a season, a temporary stop along the way. Too many people take a temporary denial and turn it into a permanent decision by giving up. They let one no define their future. And they let one disappointment convince them they're not worthy. But if you look closer, you'll realize denial is just life's way of asking, how badly do you want it? Determination, on the other hand, is something you decide once and carry with you forever. It's the fire inside that refuses to be put out no matter how many storms you walk through. And determination doesn't look at circumstances to decide whether to keep going. It doesn't check to see if the road is easy, if people are cheering, or if the results are showing up fast enough. Determination is a choice to keep moving regardless of the weather, regardless of the noise, regardless of the obstacles stacked against you. When you understand that denial is temporary, you stop giving it so much power. You stop letting a bad day convince you it's a bad life. You stop letting a rejection convince you you're not capable. You see it for what it is. Delay, a test, a moment that will pass. Because everything in life is seasonal. Pain has a season. A struggle has a season. Rejection has a season. But determination outlasts every season because it's not built on circumstances. It's built on conviction. Think about the people who achieved the impossible. They all faced denial at some point. Authors who had their manuscripts rejected dozens of times before a publisher finally said yes. Athletes who were told they weren't strong enough, fast, talented enough, but kept training anyway. Entrepreneurs who were laughed at, ignored, and turned down by investors before they finally broke through. Their stories remind us that denial can only last as long as your determination allows it. The moment you decide to keep pushing, denial starts losing its grip on your destiny. Determination transforms denial into fuel. Every no becomes a reason to work harder. Every rejection becomes proof that you're getting closer. Every closed door becomes motivation to knock louder. Determination doesn't crumble under denial, it sharpens under it. It grows tougher, wiser, stronger. Where others see a wall, the determination sees a challenge. There, where others hear impossible, the determination hears try again. But denial often shows up to see if you're serious. Anybody can say they want success, but determination is proven in the times when success doesn't come easily. If everything came the first time you asked for it, your resolve would never be tested, and your strength would never grow. It's the persistence in the face of denial that builds the character needed to sustain victory when it finally arrives. That's why denial is temporary. It only lasts until determination outlasts it. Every time you face denial, you have a choice. Accept it as final or treat it as a stepping stone. When you choose determination, you stop being shaken by delays. You stop being discouraged by obstacles. You carry with you belief that no matter how long it takes, no matter how many setbacks appear, you have the ability to endure until things shift in your favor. That's the power of permanence. But denial, faith, determination remains. Rejection's not the end, it's a redirection. Every time someone tells you no, every time you face a closed door, every time your idea is dismissed or your effort overlooked, it can feel like the world is pushing you away. But rejection is rarely about your worth, your value, or your potential. More often than not, it's simply a sign that you're being guided to something else, something greater, something more aligned with where you're truly meant to be. Too often people treat rejection like a final verdict, when in reality, it's just a detour pointing them toward a different path. Think about it. If you got everything you wanted exactly when you wanted it, you might settle for less than what you were truly capable of. Sometimes rejection's life's way of saving you from mediocrity, from opportunities that would limit you, from situations that don't match your true calling. You might not see it in the moment. You might hurt. You might feel discouraged. You might question yourself. But looking back, most people can point to a time when they thought rejection was the worst thing that ever happened to them, only to later realize it was the best. That failed relationship made room for the right partner. That missed job opened the door to a career that fit their passion. That closed opportunity forced them to build their own door. The rejection carries within it a hidden invitation, an invitation to grow stronger, to sharpen your skills, to prove how badly you want what you're chasing. It's easy to keep going when everything is going your way. It's easy to stay motivated when the doors keep swinging open. But real determination shows up when you get knocked back. Rejection tests your character. It asks you, do you believe in yourself enough to keep moving forward even when no one else believes in you? If you see rejection as the end, you'll quit too soon. But if you see it as redirection, you'll keep your eyes open for the opportunities that come next. You'll learn to pivot, to adapt, to keep moving. Instead of being paralyzed by disappointment, you'll start asking, what is this teaching me? Where is this pointing me? What else is possible? And those questions will lead you to places you would have never reached if the original door had stayed open. Rejection builds resilience. It thickens your skin. It teaches you that you can survive disappointment and come out stronger on the other side. When you've been rejected enough times and kept going, you develop a certain confidence, a toughness, a quiet assurance that nothing can break you. You stop fearing no's because you know no's aren't the end. They're just part of the process. Every rejection is a step closer to the right opportunity, the right connection, the right door. Some of the most successful people in the world were rejected dozens, even hundreds of times before someone finally said yes. What made them different wasn't that rejection didn't hurt. It was that they didn't let it stop them. They recognized that rejection wasn't a stop sign. It was a detour sign. And it was guiding them toward the exact place they needed to be. And when they finally arrived, they were stronger, sharper, and better prepared because of the rejection they endured along the way. Rejection is not a reflection of your destiny. It's a refinement of your journey. It trims away the wrong opportunities so you can see the right ones more clearly. It strips away your comfort zone so you're forced to grow. It challenges your belief in yourself so you come out with unshakable confidence. Rejection doesn't shrink you. It shapes you. It doesn't end your story. It redirects your path. Persistence wears down resistance. Every obstacle you face, every barrier in your path, Every challenge that stands between you and your goal has one job, and it is to see if you're willing to keep going. Resist is not permanent. It's not unbeatable. It's simply a test. And the answer to that test is persistence. When you refuse to stop, when you keep showing up, when you keep taking action, even when the odds seem stacked against you, eventually the resistance begins to weaken. It cracks, it breaks. Not because it wanted to, but because persistence doesn't give it a choice. Most people quit before they even reach the point where resistance starts to crumble. They give up when things get hard, when they don't see results quickly enough, when the journey takes longer than expected. But persistence isn't about speed. It's about endurance. It's about staying in the game long enough for the tide to turn in your favor. It's about understanding that every step forward, no matter how small, chips away at the wall in front of you. Amen. If you keep swinging, if you keep chipping, if you keep pressing, eventually that wall has to fall. Resistance is strongest at the beginning. That's why starting feels so difficult. Why new habits are hard to form. Why chasing a dream feels overwhelming at first. But once you've persisted long enough, momentum begins to build. What once felt heavy becomes lighter. What once felt impossible becomes manageable. The same resistance that tried to stop you at the start begins to lose its grip the longer you refuse to give up. A history is filled with people who prove that persistence is stronger than resistance. And innovators who failed dozens of times before finally creating a breakthrough. Leaders who faced opposition and criticism at every turn but kept moving forward. Athletes who trained relentlessly, pushing past injuries and setbacks until victory was the only outcome left. They weren't stronger, smarter, or luckier than everyone else. They were simply persistent enough to outlast the resistance. Persistence is a habit. It's built by showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, even when no one is watching, even when the results are nowhere in sight. Every time you persist, you reinforce your belief in yourself. You prove to yourself that you're capable of enduring, of pushing, of staying committed. And that self-belief becomes your armor against resistance. Because once you know you won't quit, resistance has nothing left to fight you with. Resistance thrives on hesitation, doubt, and fear. It feeds off your willingness to back down. But persistence doesn't give it that luxury. Persistence says, I will not stop, I will not fold, I will not disappear. And over time, resistance realizes it cannot win against someone who refuses to leave the battlefield. The truth is, the bigger your dream, the stronger the resistance you'll face. But the stronger your persistence, the weaker that resistance becomes. It's not a question of if the resistance will fall. It's a question of when. And that when is determined by how long you're willing to stand, how long you're willing to fight, how long you're willing to persist. Your vision must be louder than their doubt. The world is full of voices. Voices telling you what you can't do. Voices reminding you of your failures. Voices questioning your ability. Voices suggesting you should settle for less than what you're capable of. Those voices will always be there. They're sometimes coming from strangers, sometimes people close to you, and at times, even from within your own mind. Doubt is loud, but vision has the power to be louder if you choose to let it speak with authority. The vision is the picture you hold in your heart of the life you want to live, the goals you want to achieve, the person you want to become. It's not based on where you are right now, but on where you know you're meant to be. The problem is that when people can't see your vision, they'll project their doubt onto you. They'll say things like, yeah, be realistic. That's too big. Or nobody has done that before. But that's because they weren't given your vision. They weren't meant to see what you see. The responsibility of carrying that vision belongs to you and you alone. When doubt gets loud, you have to turn up the volume of your vision. That means reminding yourself daily of why you started. It means visualizing your goals so clearly that they become more real to you than your current circumstances. It means speaking life into your dreams until your own belief in them drowns out the noise of disbelief. Doubt will always shout, but vision can roar louder when you choose to feed it with faith, persistence, and action. The most successful people in history were surrounded by doubt. Innovators were told their ideas would never work. Dreamers were told their goals were impossible. Leaders were told they would fail. But they didn't let the voices of doubt dictate their future because their vision was louder. They held on to it through rejection, through ridicule, through setbacks, and that vision guided them like a compass when everything else tried to pull them off course. The reason doubt is so persuasive is because it often disguises itself as logic, as practicality, as advice from people who claim to know better. But vision doesn't opt by the rules of what already exists. Our vision creates new paths, new standards, new possibilities. If you let doubt silence your vision, you'll live within the limitations of other people's fears. But if you let your vision be louder, you'll step into possibilities they never imagined. Vision is a muscle. The more you nurture it, the stronger it becomes. Feed it with affirmations, with reminders of your progress, with stories of others who've done the impossible. Protect it from negativity, from people who can't see beyond their own limitations, from your own inner critic. Every time you choose vision over doubt, you strengthen your belief, and that belief fuels your actions. And action is the ultimate amplifier of vision. The truth is, the doubt will never completely go away. It will always try to creep in, to whisper in the background, to plant seeds of hesitation. But as long as your vision is louder, doubt has no power over your destiny. Your vision must be the guiding voice, the anchor. They're the fuel that keeps you moving forward no matter who tells you it can't be done.